Harvey, let's go. You started the first one off with only your face on the screen, but this time we're starting things off right. I'm here to make you look better in cast and on camera. Chaos versus Expert, let's get into it.
Yeah, dude, I think it's going to be a pretty good one, to be honest. I mean, I think I've seen a bit of Expert in the past, but mainly over on that Chaos side. I'm a lot more familiar with this team. It's a little bit confusing maybe if you haven't seen them. The org is American. The players are majority Swedish. I'm pretty sure all of them are, actually. So for me, one of the better teams here in MDL, kind of on the up and up. They're not maybe incredible or whatever, but they are constantly improving, constantly working on themselves, you know, and they look pretty good in a lot of the games that they're playing. I think they have a really interesting way of approaching a lot of setups and things. And Mirage, obviously, we just saw this being played, but hopefully coming into this, they too will have a nice new, fresh way of maybe showing us Mirage here so it doesn't get a bit too stale for us. But nice little opening damage onto Scrum because they do have utility available, but they're just kind of opting not to use it straight off the get-go. A deep Molotov, I think, goes in towards CT to allow them a bit of control here, and they're going to play with this perfectly. I mean, Pleasant finding another kill, tabs to take down Scrunk. It's Syken and Andy who have to try and pick up the pieces, but both their positions are known. They don't have any utility. They don't have kits. They're two men down. I think this is pretty much impossible is what I'm trying to say. And there you go. They are cleanly written off. It'll be a very nice pistol coming in from Chaos.
Are you okay, Scruv?
Yeah, I'm good, man. What about
you? Man. I'm just making sure. You seem a little bit shaken, let's just put it that way. But you're right, Chaos starting off strong, but Expert, they're looking to pack a bit of a punch in the second round, but not too much of a punch. It's kind of like fighting against, you know, your 5-year-old nephew. He might accidentally kick you where it hurts, but other than that, it's pretty unlikely that he'll get any damage in. Pleasant moving through. At the same time, it's Syken to find one, Scrunk with another, and this is the nephew going to work. Expert suddenly looking a little bit more impressive than they have in the past, and Alexar will have that train start.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn of affairs. It's actually been brought relatively close by the CT side, but once again, it comes into that situation where the bomb goes down, and suddenly you find that you have like no way in. You have to hope that you can land some nutty shots, and it's just not going to happen. Scrunk might as well save this into the next round. I feel like they're going to be ecoing the next one, unless we see something a bit crazy. So it could be good for him to earn some money. Of course, that $600 kill bonus on the old Mac 10. He's got a bit of utility. He's got 5.7 he can drop across. You know, it's not all bad for him. Everybody else is going to eventually go down, but I'd say this is a scenario where on both teams, you're kind of happy with what happened in that round. You get a bit of return for the money that you spend on the Expert side. And meanwhile, on the Chaos side, you obviously win the round, but you win it with that kind of bare minimum of 3 surviving, which is what we always say is the benchmark, let's say, when you win a round, especially when you're against like a soft eco that Expert were on.
Expert's actually one of those few teams that, oh my god, Syken! Impress me a little bit more, and I might be trying to get in those Twitter DMs to ask for an interview and be denied as I always am. Anyway, Expert, they're one of the few teams that still try and buy up in the 4th round. It's kind of cute to see teams just trying to, you know, stick to their own style. I really like that personally. I'm not sure how effective it is, but it is just kind of enjoyable to see a team trying to do its own thing because, like I mentioned in the previous game, for anyone who wasn't tuned in, I personally am very much a fan of trying to figure out your own style at this level of Counter-Strike because a lot of the time you're not going to have the players to make something better really work out for you too well. That's a big challenge as an endgame leader. That's always there, but right now, Expert, they started things off strong, at least aim-wise, and they're hoping to get a few more. Gustafsson pretty low on Chaos, and it seems like he will be brought down as Alexar swings out wide with a 5.7, but he will be taken down in return. DJL needs to be careful. Syken's on the corner, and he's got himself another, looking for more. Damage has been done, but that grenade will finish him off. 3 versus 1 as Tabs as well with a grenade of his own will take down... Oh, rather, I missed one of the kills. Never mind. I am very all over the place right now. Sorry, Scrave. You're going to have to take over for a second while I figure out what's going wrong.
I think Alex crept in somewhere early to find one. But still, I mean, that 3k coming in from Syken, really, really good stuff. And pretty much, yeah, I think securing the round. Tabs does have the bomb, and he's actually crept in towards A here, but he's not going to be ready for scrum, surely. He's not. Gets taken down. There wasn't really enough time to check all the angles there. So, Expert, they steal one back, and that's kind of the beauty of the soft ecos 2 rounds in a row, where you just pull a few pistols in. They manage to, you know, save one and spread the wealth a little bit. And suddenly, despite the fact that it's a weak buy, you can play that aggressive style because you're on the pistols. I mean, even yourself, you're not really expecting to win it. You're just looking to do damage. And then suddenly you just catch someone off guard, and then you catch a second player off guard, and you actually are in with a chance. You know, you've got a player with armor who gets a rifle or whatever it may be, and you manage to steal it away. That's why, you know, we generally call it a steal away round, I guess, because you're not expected to win it. I mean, I do. I don't know.
A steal away round.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. A stolen round, maybe.
Scriv, how do you go from
better.
dropping Latin bombs to a steal away round?
Listen, I'm not quite sure how my mind works, but...
Well, Scriv, your standard deviation's all over the place, but let's leave it at that. Expert getting aggressive. Skrunk's been posted into the A tunnels. He realizes this might not be the best place to be, because if they start swinging out wide, well, you know what? This could be his last resting place for this round. That said, though, with Chaos very strongly concentrated in middle, it seems like he will be offered a little bit of respite. DJL popping around the corner. Syken goes low. Syken goes down. That should be a quick A take coming in as the CTs are rotating over. Taps finds another. Gustafsson will take down Andy, and suddenly Alex is wondering where to go, as he will find Gustafsson at the very least. But he's also going to be finding DJL coming in from the side. But he knows DJL's there, so this could be another kill in his own... Well, another feather in his own cap. We're really not doing a good job right now, Screv. I'm just saying. We're kind of
Well, I'm all over the place at the moment in Britain. It's very hot right now, which is just a bit weird.
I mean, we might be going to war, hot, so I think I win.
But okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think you win that one.
Yeah.
So external factors, but no, I mean, I think this is another game, especially for Expert, where they do rely on those individuals to find some nice opening picks and things. Chaos obviously can play off of that like a lot of teams do. You know, if you get an opening pick, we generally say that you are going to take the round, right? But I think Chaos have that extra level of set pieces and strategy available to them, whereas Expert do very much rely on, you know, as we can see in a round like this, the individuals picking up an early kill or an early couple of kills. That's why they're like, oh, we can get some AWPs out, so therefore we should all buy, rather than, you know, the players with that extra money just finding early picks and things with pistols or whatever instead. But Andy, he's going to open up that AWP, paying dividends so far. It will be an early pick, and it kind of throws Chaos off a little bit. The first thing that they've seen is an AWP. Are they now going to think that this is a full buy and therefore change the way that they play against Expert? And we've also got an A stack coming out, so it's an interesting setup from the German side that could very easily catch Chaos off guard.
.4v5 doesn't help either. With 55 seconds left on the clock by the time I finish this sentence. They're heading in slowly towards A, but JDC throwing that flashbang actually slows them down a lot. Skrunk drops down too. He's going to be peeking out wide. They've got the information, but they don't want to reveal these ops. Like you said, element of surprise and whatnot. 30 seconds, and JDC might be surprised very soon, because Blesson's actually crept back with the flashbang being popped overhead. So 25 seconds on the clock. Alex on the DJL. Pleasant goes down though, and that's too much information gone by the wayside. Gustav and Relaxa might be fighting back, but they're fighting slow, and that means JDC, he's got a chance to make it all work, and indeed he does. Picks up the op on his way out as well, says thank you very much.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. And again, it is very back and forth early on. I think, again, we're in a scenario where these two teams not quite prepared for each other, and therefore kind of playing things perhaps a bit too slowly in places. And that is where the looser playstyle of a weaker buy comes into fruition a lot of the time. And again, it's going to be a weak buy for Chaos. They've got 2 rifles, sure, but everybody else on the pistols and utility available to make this work. And this is, again, where I say they have that kind of deeper strat. They've not just forced up and you know, going to play the round how they like to all the time. They're, in fact, you know, going to pull out a bit of a set piece. And it looks like perhaps the old bait and switch. Throwing the utility in, no one's showing themselves, and now they're going to try and move in after the utility dissipates, hoping to maybe, you know, catch less players here. They will take down Alex R with a nice little bit of nadage, but a great angle by Syken to trade things back. Again, they're trying to sell a bit of a double fake, but I suppose now a triple fake, I guess. Not quite sure, but they're kind of walking into 3 players immediately. They are really not buying the fake on that expert side at the moment. Syken going to go creeping on through as he finds himself another on the edge of the smoke. He is wrecking it up. Pleasant the only one left in a 1 versus 3. I mean, bomb available, but not much else at this point. Needs to land some pretty crazy shots if he wants to take this one, I think.
And that's an important round for Expert as well, being able to take 3 guns into the next one, especially the double op. Now, Expert actually relies very heavily on their double op on a lot of maps, even on the T side occasionally. So they're going to be in their comfort zone for now. Chaos as well. This is where they need to look to get some damage in with these pistols. I would have liked to see a couple of flashes, but unfortunately, more often than not, a lot of teams kind of just decide against it for some reason. I can't really justify it personally. The $200 investment can really net you a lot, especially when you're going up against a double up setup on a map like Mirage particularly. So would have liked to see something on those lines, but Expert, they're going to be heaving a sigh of relief that that isn't the case from Chaos, especially when they can just continue on with this massacre.
Ooh. Can indeed. Some nice shots coming through. I mean, it's a fairly simple round, but Expert surprising early on, you know, to fight quite evenly, quite readily against Chaos, who normally look pretty good. But then Mirage, I think, for a lot of teams, is a middle ground map, is a map that, you know, you are comfortable on, or have to be comfortable on, you know, at this point, because it's just been in that map pool for so very long, and everybody knows how to play it pretty much. And you're going to get aggressive early on. Nice find onto Gustavsson. Once again, it's an early advantage for the German side, and they continue to look really good here early on this CT side. Nice little spot comes in from Scrunk, but not quite able to capitalize. Perhaps a bit too aggressive there. It's actually going to give Chaos a bit of an opportunity back into this round now, as this is maybe where the mind games come in again. As you can see, aggressive rotations from B, but Chaos are aware that that's the way that they're going to react, and quite possibly going to move back towards B, maybe split A, something along those lines. They realize that there's 2 minutes in the round, not just like 30 seconds of pure unadulterated action. You can spread out, you know, where you choose to go throughout a round.
And this is where the execute starts to come in. 45 seconds left. Chaos. Things aren't looking good for them, especially because Syken got that information. The bullets raining through on his side means that now he just needs to back off, throw some utility. And Scriv, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the utility usage coming out from Expert in these late rounds is really impressive. They've still got quite a bit of utility. I mean, look at Alex. He's got himself his nade and the Molotov. JDC finds one Relaxer, and Fless and Go do manage to get enough done to take control of the site. And now suddenly Alex will probably be having all of that utility to the beginning of next round, not even the end of this round. So there goes everything I was saying about that, as Chaos does take control of the A site, makes short work of it. And this was a big round for them to get, because otherwise Expert could have started to run away with the economy. Alex, with this saved op, will guarantee a double op setup at the very least in the next round, but it is still going to be Chaos at a place where they can really properly keep on fighting back.
Oh. Are they going to meet each other here, or I don't think Klesson is going to hard go for this. So Alex R will get away with his life pretty cleanly, won't have to fight for it. And that will allow, I mean, it's probably for the best that he actually saved there, because Andy is quite poor compared to everybody else. And that means that he's able to get that secondary AWP yet again. And they'll continue with the same kind of setup. So this is a good opportunity for them to get a quick reset in, but it's Chaos with a very aggressive hit towards A, and they run straight through the Molotov, straight into Skrunk. Oh my goodness. The disrespect coming in from Chaos with that player, they just do not care at all, and they will get absolutely demolished, as it's going to be Relaxer in a 1 versus 5. That's one of those rounds where it's like, okay, let's switch it up. Let's turn the pace up. And I think they did throw a smoke down onto that Molotov, but Classic, didn't spread and get rid of the entire Molotov.
It's really
because
funny,
of the different levels.
Scrub, it's really funny, but if you look over towards A main right now, literally, that tunnel tells the story of this round right now. Blood is spattered all over the walls. You know exactly what's going wrong, and it's the fact that the T's try to rush through there, and suddenly changes of pace become changes in fate, as Chaos, who was doing reasonably well so far in the early rounds, suddenly finds themselves not doing that well, which sounds not too eloquent, but I'm not going to lie, that's pretty much the best way to describe it. Speaking of not doing too well, Relaxa burnt alive, bunny hopping his way back into Syken's crosshair. So Expert on 5 rounds now. This is where things start to get a little bit tricky for Chaos. They've been reset. Relax has got a little bit of that change in his pockets, so maybe we do see some buys coming through off the back of that, and indeed it will be the case. Tabs keeps nothing, actually. I thought Tabs might be the one saving up for an op in the next round, but there goes the train, choo-choo to B. And Relaxa, ready for an execute, but a deep Molotov and a grenade, actually. Very, very careful from the side of Expert. Very wary of the possibilities of a rush, but it's going to be Alex who's holding the site. Flashbangs avoided. Shot will not be taken. He's a bit too scared for that one, so he's playing around in the smoke that he himself has dropped. Syken finds 1. Andy from behind with 2. Alex comes in for 3, and DJL drops down to finally end the fragging train of the CT side. 3v2, bomb not down. DJL op in his hand. Relaxa still with an AK that he did, of course, buy into this round. And this is where these two players could really turn things around for themselves. Chaos is not letting their foot off the pedal. Relax someone. With that bomb going down. Ooh, actually, suddenly, this is looking very doable. Andy's not in a great position because DJL just peeks out, and DJL will get the entire job done on his own. A fallen op was all he needed, and 4 kills was what he got. 5-5 Chaos very suddenly are going to be patting him on the back for his heroics.
Those pillars on that B-bomb site can be deadly, and AWP running around them. We've seen many a play from that B-bomb site. They're sort of big enough to provide cover, small enough to move around quickly. Andy, though, comes into this round angry, aggressive, trying to take matters into his own hands, and that's the perfect opener. It's around where they need it. Weak by, lacking in the equipment, of course. They need that early advantage, so it does set them up well for the rest of this round here. And Chaos once again kind of finding themselves on the back foot, having to find a way in once again. And it looks like they're getting locked out of this round. DJL will find the head of Scrunk. And that's hopefully for the CT side the only kill that they're going to give away. Syken trying to get this AWP here. Will eventually get his hands onto it. But still pretty solid advantage for Expert. If they play their cards right, this should end up going their way, especially now that they have a second AWP in play as well.
It's a tricky situation, though. You've got... Oh, no, never mind. All tricks are gone. DJL, I'm sorry. I was kind of hoping that you'd be able to pull out the same heroics as the previous round, but it isn't to happen. Syken as well taking down Gustafsson. Suddenly, where Chaos was kind of looking dominant early on in the half, is now they're kind of just looking scattered and unorganized, and this is where things will come back to bite them, because these force buys that they're going for mean that again and again they're finding themselves on the back foot. So Expert, where they're pulling out double op after double op, Chaos is continually having to go for pauses to decide whether or not to buy up again. I really lament the fact that force buying became so popular outside of the French scene as well. I'm not gonna lie, this is where I'm going to have to blame the international teams for quite a bit. Penta, I'm looking at you all those years back when Sunny was on your team. FaZe, I'm looking at you before Carrigan really properly joined. All of these teams that relied more on aim than brain, I'm not going to lie, they've taken away some of the enjoyment of Counter-Strike for me.
Yeah, I mean, in places, I get it with the force buys and things. It's kind of a tough one because, you know, the economies get so spread out. It's like we have to double eco, we might as well force is sort of the logic. And they are kind of maybe thinking about things a little bit more here. Tab's not going deep on the force buy. But yeah, it's always a tough scenario. I think that's where the economic game, that's what makes CS such a deeper game than some of the other first-person shooters out there, is that economy game, is the fact that you have sort of consequences to your actions that can be both good and bad. You never know. A force buy can work out, you know, even if it is one such as this. And they do, again, Chaos, they seem to have an idea behind it. It's not just, oh, buy some pistols, run down mid, hope that we can kill them all somehow. They have a bit more of a deeper game plan behind this force buy, off the back of some utility and a bit of a fake play. But again, Alex R, the Org, what are you gonna do? Up close and personal, it just mows down three players. I don't even think he saw all three of them. He just gets them all. And now Plessen on 20 HP, surely soon to fall as well. He will indeed. A 7th round comes in for Expert easily enough. So it's nice having the idea, but in execution, it just doesn't work.
The sad thing is, Criv, the AUG's just so much better at short range as well, that you kind of start to wonder, okay, Valve, what do I do in any circumstance without the AUG? Like, I personally can't aim with it, but generally, when you're slightly better of a Counter-Strike player than little old me, when is the AUG not a better gun? And that's problematic, but this could also be problematic because we're seeing a fast Glock train over towards Ace. Crunk and JDC finding one apiece, but that should still be the bomb down, and indeed it is. Grenade takes down Pleasant as well. Gustav's got himself an AK. It's a bit old school, but maybe it's going to be enough to do the job because he's found one, he's looking for two, but there's not enough bullets in the gun. And that will mean Expert live this, well, they survive. 8-5 for Expert.
Yeah, looking really good so far, to be honest. Definitely not what I expected. I kind of came into this one thinking that Chaos would be the ones to kind of edge it out ultimately, but at the moment, at least on the CT side, as is, I feel, classically German, they're performing very, very well. And Sycan especially really tearing through at the moment, which is kind of scary going into that T side. If you've already got an individual that is in a bit of a carry position, they can have an even higher impact on the T side of things. But again, it's still all to play for. I mean, it's been very, very back and forth, and Chaos are no mean feat to get over. But Andy, with shots like that, certainly going to be helping out. Scrunk as well. The shotgun. Oh, what the hell? I didn't realize he was so close towards the ramp. But nonetheless, manages to get a kill before going down. It's a 4-on-3. The rotation slowly but surely starting to move in. And again, Chaos will find themselves on the back foot going into the bomb plant portion of the round. At least that's what they're aiming to do here. But there's a flank coming in from Sycan in from behind. He will drop that bomb. There's no one around to get a trade. So once again, they've got so much control here, and it's all going to be onto DJL playing the long game in this smoke. But he was hoping that his teammates would at least survive. They don't, so he's only good for one. A 9th round for Expert coming in once again, relatively one-sided.
This is where things are kind of slipping out of control for Chaos. This Expert side, after the first half, has just kind of completely taken over the server. Andy finding one, gets a second as well. Blessin goes down, that means it's a 5v3. And Chaos, they're losing men, but those men that are left alive have a lot more to fight for. 9-6 is a big difference maker. Andy, though, he himself is the big difference maker for Expert. 3 kills so far, looking to make it more. JDC, though, might stop that from happening because he himself is feeling it. His trigger, well, it's on point. JDC will have his teammate finishing things off, though. Scrunk takes down Relaxa. Clean run from Expert. Clean half from Expert. And Chaos disappointing us quite a bit with their economic decisions. That said, though, they are now on the CT side, and we know it's infamous that Swedish teams, generally particularly well organized, can make quite a bit happen on the CT side of Mirage classically, but classic Swedish teams, it's been a while since we've seen them.
True, to be fair. But maybe Chaos can pick things up here on their CT side. I think it goes without saying at this point, kind of need the pistol. And that first rifle round would also be nice, just to give them a bit of breathing room, make things look a little bit more doable, because if they go down 12-5, 13-5 early on, then suddenly it's a case of a monumental task, no mistakes going forwards. I think even then, you know, if they do get those first 3 rounds, there's still not very much room for them. So it's going to have to be a pretty perfect half, is what I'm trying to say. Starts off slow, but does not start off well. JDC finding that first kill at the top end of mid. There's no one around to really help out. You kind of have to get a bit aggressive in a round like this, but it is so telegraphed these days that CTs, pistol round on Mirage, get aggressive up mid, and there'll be like 2 or 3 Ts just sat there waiting. Relaxer, though, very nice shot indeed, as he will manage to find one, and now they walk into the trap of Gustafsson, who manages to not only get a kill, but also drops that bomb. And that means that Andy kind of has to waste his utility in order to pick it back up. So, in the long run, it's quite an important kill for Gustafsson to have found there.
Is that not the most Swedish name ever, Skriv? I mean, Gustafsson. That's got to take the cake for you. And Sycan's taking the cake right now as he lays the most Swedish man to bed down below. Tabs getting another. Scrunk is going to take a knee. But Tabs, well, he's looking to take a head, and that head will belong to Sycan. Andy now hunting around. That last bullet doesn't quite come through. Tabs looking to get fancy with his footwork, and well, he's coming out on top of that dance.
So, they will manage to get that all-important pistol, and thanks to no bomb plant and whatnot, Expert are in a situation where they like to go for these forces. They're also pretty comfortable, so why not? It's maybe not the norm these days, but perhaps that is part of their shtick, you know, trying to catch teams off guard with a second round bye, like back in the old days. And some nice nade lineups coming on through as well for this B setup. I believe we'll see the two that go towards short and maybe a few more as well deeper in towards the side. They're going to jump ahead of the smokestone. It's Plessen easily able to clean up. And they're just not able to get in at all. Everybody getting mowed down by the stronger weaponry and perhaps a bit of miscommunication on when they were supposed to go, so to speak. This is where Skrunk was going to come in and mow them all down from behind, but unfortunately he's the only one left. So really well dealt with there by Chaos. I mean, very little damage HP-wise, let alone kill-wise or whatever taken, and it's a pretty clean 7th coming through for them.
Things will start to look different for Expert very suddenly. You're down 10-7, soon to be 10-8 more likely than not. It's a hard situation to find yourself in, and that situation, well, it's one of momentum. Expert, although they may have shown us the capability of coming back into their own on the first half, it's very different to do it from CT than to do it from T. You need to be a little bit more dynamic on the T side, where CT at the very least you can say, you know what, I've trained for this 100 times before, I've played this angle 1,000 times before, we know exactly how our teammates are going to be positioned, we know exactly what strategy we're following. T, this is where, I mean, it's Brownian motion practically. And Expert, now they've got the money to really start packing a punch in these dust particles. How are they going to be positioning themselves in the ring is yet to be seen. Seems like two players fast towards A, and Gustavsson himself pushing out. MP9 flashbang to help. And this aggression is being rewarded, but Gustav, he's got another teammate on his side. That teammate was brought down. Relax and Tabs, both of them taking a fall, but not before they can get a kill between them. Andy? Left to his lonesome with an AWP that won't help very much when Gustav strikes from the side. 3 kills for him that round. That MP9 really putting up the numbers.
Well, Chaos. This is exactly what we wanted to see from them. A very, very good start to this second half. Looking to even things up pretty quickly, to be honest. This is the danger of going for those 4 spies. You know, you lose that first rifle round and all of a sudden things look a lot more difficult. They could have another buy here if they'd have just gone for the safe play on the Expert side, but obviously just going to go for the classic deco. Slowly but surely looking to find something. Will be Syken, unfortunately taken down. Pretty low HP early on, has to back away and looking to group up with the rest of the boys who seemingly are going to go towards B. And the setup that they have, I mean, they could at least get the bomb down. They're not going to go for it at the moment, and obviously only time will tell, but a nice angle from Andy to find Tabs pretty easily there. Will mean that they secure themselves an early kill, and they've got a couple players with Kevlar. So if that orb can make its way into their hands, could be effective. And I mean, to be fair, the orb doesn't feel as affected by aim punch in a lot of scenarios compared to other automatic weaponry. Again, because of its high fire rate. So there is that as well. Nice little return kill, but 30 seconds remaining here, tea time, and the bomb slowly but surely making its way over towards B. DJL in a key position. Are they going to check him? I don't think so with that smoke going down, and now his position becomes even more important as the bomb plant going to come through. He's going to wait, biding his time. Maybe he's not even going to be needed as Plessen is chiming in, picks up a couple and a third, in fact. And there you go. DJL just going to snipe that defuse, get the MVP for doing pretty much nothing. But nonetheless, it'll be a nice cleanup from Chaos, to be fair.
It's a little bit difficult for the terrorist side to really do much at this point, where they're going through the motions, it seems like, and like I mentioned before, CT very different to T, because experts always had a bit of this problem on their own T side. It's that everything seems a bit too pre-programmed. It seems like they're not really ready to adjust to what the opponent's doing the same way, and that's what we'll see right now as well. Gustav coming in from behind will not be spotted whatsoever. Both these players are looking the other way, and that means that he can get to. So time and time again, adjustment is not an expert's forte. We've seen this before. We've seen this, to some extent on every T side. I've actually seen them play. And right now, more than ever, it is materializing in ways that are not working out for them, to say the least. It's a 4 versus 2. It's 10-10. Syken and JDC suddenly are feeling a little bit more helpless than they did in the beginning of that round.
This is difficult, I think, for them at the moment. T side of Expert not looking as clean as the CT side, honestly. Maybe take a pause, just slow the momentum of your opponents at this point and try and figure out what's going wrong. Just get that one round to get the ball rolling on the board. Nice find by Syken. Does come in, though. And he was certainly one of the key players over on that CT side of things. Keep your eyes on him, as JDC is going to move through with this bomb slowly but surely, the utility as well. But most of the action, I think, is going to come from the rifle of Syken, ultimately. He's going to find this kill on short. Surely he does. It's a bit dicey, but thankfully he keeps his composure to take down Tabs. Relaxing now in a 1 versus 2 with the AWP in hand. Not really ideal. He does have that advantage coming in from short that they might not have thought of it, but now he gets revealed and will have to slowly move his way in. Going to get spotted out. Key little angle by Syken, finding that he is actually going to go for this and double peek. There's nothing you can do against that. It's a clean headshot from JDC, but a great way in there. An Expert will pick up their 11th. As I was kind of commenting on what they should do, given that they'd lost the round, but obviously they ended up actually pulling it back from the jaws of defeat there. So very well done to regain the lead.
And it's about time that they do. I mean, this is where things were getting a little bit dicey for them. If they ended up losing out that lead to Chaos, that would have been a major stepping point for them. I think it's just that mental block when you see the other team equalize. You can really easily be overwhelmed after they regain 5 rounds like that. So it's nice to see that they can at the very least punch back. But now Chaos are looking very far into the future with all 5 of their scopes, but the future for Relaxa is going to contain a very abrupt ending as he does get taken down. Leaving it into 5 versus 4, and Pleasant, well, maybe he's going to look to get aggressive in turn, because he can easily block off Alex's progression behind him, so maybe that's going to be his cue to peek up and find out that there's no one inside mid. Setting up things for an A-site execute. Gustafsson repositioning himself, realizes there's a man inside Palace. But with smokes that are likely to come through soon, his efficacy is going to be greatly hindered. Gustafsson smoked off from that angle, flashbanged away as well. But he's got the first kill on the cycle. That's a big man to get.
Oof. Another one coming through as well from Tabs. Things starting to look dicey for Expert once again. Very tight angle held by Pleasant, but JDC had no idea that perhaps it even existed. Alexar does manage to trade one back, but really to no avail. It's going to be Andy. He has to find all 3 here. Will manage to take down 1, but that leaves him on 18 HP. There's a Molotov surely that could go his way. The defuse coming in, he's not even going to peek, as he just wants to save this off going into the next round. So they immediately pull it back. Not quite going to be able to save the second AWP on the Chaos side of things, but they will be happy to keep things in contention and maybe a bit of a fluke from Expert rather than something consistent. And again, it's a weak buy from Expert, seemingly going to be coming out here. I mean, not too bad, actually. They do manage to spread the wealth fairly effectively. It's just Alexar who feels the burn. Andy going for an early peak, unfortunately, does not have the great spawn that he thought he did. An easy pickup for Gustafsson early on for Chaos. Once again, they are retaining that man advantage. Expert can be on the back foot.
It's very interesting that they're actually sending Alexar alone with a Deagle over towards apartments. Normally, you'd expect to see a player like that either going towards middle and peeking into connector, trying to go for that post plant setup with a Deagle where you can at least kill the diffuser or tube diffuser. But now you're seeing him coming back, so the scouting mission does come to a close. Tabs, in the meanwhile, will be the main man on the A site. Gustafsson probably going to be smoked off pretty soon on CT, so Tabs has to step up from Secret, flashed up entirely, and Alexar to the head. Means that Gustav suddenly is sweating a little bit more than he was before. Relaxa coming from the side as he feels the heat that Expert's about to bring. Bomb should go down soon. Relaxa peeks in and prevents it from happening. Grenade to follow up, and that grenade could have been doing a lot of damage, but JDC swings out far too wide and he gets the kill. Bomb goes down. Syken peeks in. Relaxa on the ground, and Syken delay Blessin into the grave as well. DJL suddenly, he's clutched this out before, but this time is a bit different, as Expert will be the ones to rule.
Well, a messy round, but a beautiful individual performance coming in from Syken. Great shots from him on that AWP that he retrieved. And again, he continues to pull his team kicking and screaming through a lot of these rounds. 25 kills so far. Looking good for the 30 bomb maybe. But again, it's a question of consistency. Can they rely on him round after round after round to carry them through to the victory? Or will Chaos's more, methodical and strategic kind of CT setups be the difference maker here? I think for me, I feel like it's going to be pretty hard to call on Syken, but you never know. Those individual performances are definitely possible, and this is a round that if they win it, Expert could very, very easily clean the game up with it, because, this economic deficit that I suppose Chaos find themselves in is going to be hard to deal with if they do lose another round in a row here. Relaxer, key kill to find. He does need to be careful because they're creeping in. Good option to push forward instead of trying to go backwards and just give them the A site control. There's only 2 Ts here on the A site, so it's a little bit all over the place for them. Nice little find from Andy. However, we'll pull it back into a 4 versus 4. But what is Syken doing? He's got the bomb in hand. Goes aggressive through the smoke, but it works out. Okay. I'm so confused as to how that actually works and how he gets away with it. I think this is going to be the round going the way of Expert because of that.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where when you're watching it, you're kind of wondering what's going on, but then suddenly it materializes in greatness, and the angels sing from up above, and the harps will sound out across the sea of Valhalla, and Expert will win the round. Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. It's a little bit all over the place, to be honest. So,
yeah,
I think
it's okay.
off the back of I think off the back of that one, they'll probably end up taking the game here. I think, to be honest.
Hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? I'm giving Chaos a fighting chance, but Alex Sarva,
Okay.
he's not giving them one. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of cheating. You're getting a flashbang, you've got an AUG, he's got a USB, he's fully flashed up. This is not fighting fair, and I don't like it. Expert, play ball, play nice, don't bite, put away your teeth, but Strunk doesn't have any intention of doing any of the above, as he just mows them down one by one. Bomb will go down as well. Relax and Pleasant at this point, they're just cannon fodder.
Oof, that's a bit unfortunate for Pleasant.
Ooh, yeah, for sure. It's a little bit unfortunate for the entirety of Chaos, I would say. The fact that they haven't gotten a single kill so far, that's generally not what you want to see on the receiving end.
It's I don't know, it's very surprising to see, Expert. Again, I think it just comes off the back of that first half because they were so far ahead. It gives them a great deal of breathing room. I think previously, again, a few months ago, we would say that maybe 10-5 is not a bad half, but now again the weakness, or the weakened pistols, I should say, mean that they don't quite look as good. So in theory, it's kind of 9-6s are a little bit better now, but even then, you have to kind of pull things further in your favor, I think, going into especially the CT half, where the money is so difficult to keep on top of. Sure, you've got the orgs, but if you can't consistently pull them out, or if you can't consistently pull them out with economy, you know, and utility, then it just doesn't look good for you. But we'll see. Another fast round coming in from Expert. This could be the particular chaotic nature of things, if you'll pardon the pun, that maybe Chaos are looking for. But I think at the moment they're going to lose control of the B-bomb site. I remember you commenting on that last time I used that pun, so I decided to do it again. Yeah, I apologize.
This is not how negative reinforcement works, Griff. I'm just saying.
I suppose. This is still going to be difficult, though, I think, for the CT side. They don't really have a great deal of information to work with, and that clock is ticking down. There is a kit available for Gustafsson, and as they encroach in, they will hit their mark pretty perfectly in all cases. Defuse is going to come on through, and it will be a 12 for Chaos. So in that one round that they so desperately needed, they will manage to once again pull it out of the bag, as teams so often do when the pressure is on.
That 3 versus 3 situation for the terrorist side is so hard to fight your way out of as well, because you've got 3 people all trapped within the confines of the site. So you don't have anyone towards van. You've actually got 2 players closer towards the benches. You don't have anyone in apartments, don't have any control over catwalk either. It's so hard to play from the confines of that area. It's like the CTs are quite literally shooting fish in a barrel. The only difference is that these are piranhas which try and fight back, but it's still a pretty straightforward, you know, procedure just to kill them all. But that said, these piranhas, they're not quite down and out yet. They're looking to get a little bit more done, as good grenade, could be doing some damage, but that damage is basically going to be just to lick the DJL's life. 2 HP taken away. Expert, quite slow-paced plays so far in the past few rounds, and this round will be no different. Relax has the big man to keep an eye out for, because he's got the big gun. Pleasant with a small gun, though. He is pulling the eyes out of Alexar's head using some lead. Relaxa, not one to be left second to anyone. Will chime in with one of his own, putting it into a 3 versus 5 with 40 seconds on the clock. Expert kind of might just need to save this point. Pleasant will go down, but that's not enough, because Tabs can just swing out wide, take one in to his own coffers.
Skrunk will manage to find the kill in at short, but Tabs comes in, finds the final 2 kills as he just catches them both off guard. Very difficult, again, mid on Mirage. No utility, no areas being covered off. You are more than likely going to get backstabbed from somewhere. So 13th round to come through for Chaos. It seems towards the end of the game here. They are picking things back up, but again, it's that question of can they keep it up. That's a nice little mid-smoke, bit of a different one in towards window. Very late though, and they're perhaps not ready for it or used to it on that T side. So yeah, they kind of peek out a bit early, and Relaxer finding Alexar in the apartments. I think that pretty much spells the end of the round in the first 30 seconds or so, to be honest. Expert once again going to have to pull something out of the bag here.
Well, I'm glad to know I lost about as wrong as a semi-professional Counter-Strike team, as Expert will end up finishing in 40 seconds. But now the question is, what's the adjustment going to be? Because this is the same thing they tried last time, but with a different smoke, which ends up being worse off for them, because it means that it's such a slow landing one that the CTs can just get a bit too much control for Expert's comfort. Tabs on the other side, as Skrunk will go down. Syken gets one. Syken's been the standout performer so far on the Expert side. He's got 29 kills yet. And the rest of his team really have been letting him down a little bit in this second half. But hopefully those times are about to change. The pause comes through and Expert has to decide to choose whether or not they fight for overtime or they try and take it away right here and now.
It's a difficult choice for any team. Again, I don't know. I mean, you could buy up with this. You could make it work, but we've had plenty of good buys in the past, and Chaos just seem to have a really good read on Expert right now. I'm not sure that they do want to go for this. I think the safe play perhaps the better idea, and soon we shall find out. But there's maybe even an argument for a bit of utility, a few pistols, try and do some damage. But then, kind of what's the point? Because you'd be going to overtime anyway. You might as well make that 30th round as easy as possible. I think we just got 2 pauses in a row there, so they are definitely thinking about this one as much as humanly possible. As, yeah, I think at one point this was Expert's game to win, and they've kind of thrown it away in the past few rounds. Unfortunately, and let Chaos re-find their momentum and get into a stable position where they feel confident making aggressive plays and things, and finding early picks, which is really, it's given the control of the pacing of the game back to Chaos. Oh, it looks like they're going hard for this. The one AK to save Expert. I don't know about this one. I'm not a big fan.
That kind of summarizes a lot of the economic decisions that have happened so far in this game, that we are not a big fan. So yeah. Well, seems like us being a fan doesn't matter, because Alex R has got a Tech 9 and he is throwing it back to 2015. And by that, I mean he's going to be finishing pretty quickly. 14-14, 3 versus 3. And surprisingly enough, things could not be closer. I didn't expect this whatsoever from this round, but Expert going fast into B with Tech 9s and an AK make it work. Now, they have lost the AK somewhere in the ruins, and I'm trying to figure out where exactly it was dropped, but no luck so far for me or for them, that matter. The CTs are now closing in, but it's a considerably slower retake because, oh, never mind, Gustav's found the 1 kill that they needed, which means that Skrunk now has to step up massively. He's picked up the AK-47, and he's putting it to good use, as will Andy with the AWP. Tabs moving in. Great grenade will find one. Knows the location of the last and has a kit, but needs to speed things up, to say the least. He doesn't quite have time. Tapping the bomb, going for the defuse. Andy might need to swing out soon, but he's got it done. Chaos, no! Expert barely takes it! That was... what in the world?
I mean, I need a pause after that one. Holy. Certainly getting the heart racing. That was like a 0.1 type situation, and he headshots him.
That was the last tick. That's got to be the last tick.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. In that space of like the last kind of 0.1, 0.2 seconds, where you feel like they've taken it. Because I thought he was going for the he's faking 100%, like the balls of seal type play, but I guess not. I guess he decided in the end to peek it. Maybe everybody's shouting at him to at least have a look. And in the end, it saves the day for Expert, so... whew, could go either way. It's now the weak buy for the CT side. They've got that FAMAS in play. They've only got 1 kit. It's still not ideal for the T side. Andy on the glass cannon, JDC with no utility at all. So there are cracks across all the planes here, but we'll have to see whether Expert can come out on top. I do like this. The slow group up, just walking in, not giving the play away until the very last second. And they're going to be very aggressively ahead of these smokes and things. Tabs looking to hopefully clean things up, but a lot of damage being done onto Relaxer early. I don't think it's going to be easy. He gets immediately traded tabs, peeks up at the right time, but Alex R takes him down. That was the key frag to find, and it's now the B rotators to try and hold things down. Gustafsson is up close and personal, and DJL will make his way in, but I think after a tag and they know where he is, it's all onto DJL in a 1 versus 3. Not looking good. The man with the FAMAS. There's a couple of low HP players dotted about, but it's really, really difficult right now. He has very little information to work with, and we'll peek round towards Sandwich. JDC with a clean headshot to finish things off, and, well, that will be that.
A bit closer
Expert.
than what we expected, because,
Yeah,
I mean, it started
yeah.
off with Chaos kind of keeping the ball in their own court, suddenly kicking it out into their neighbor's house, only to be retrieved by Expert to start a 10-5 half and have it very quickly reclaimed by Chaos. But Expert managed to clean things up at the very end, very similar to what happened in the first half, actually. At the end of the day, some questionable decisions on both ends. But that said, I am going to be saying adieu to you, Scriv, for today's broadcast. You, though, are not done yet, and I'm sure the audience will be more than glad to hear that, because you've got another round, another map of casting coming up ahead of you. Scriv, take it away. Finish this one off. I'm going to bid everyone farewell.